Happy Super Bowl week. We're getting ready for the Super Bowl right here at Las Vegas Sun. I'm Ray Brewer alongside the guru, my man, my friend, Case Keefer, talking Super Bowl Sunday, Seahawks, Patriots, Super Bowl 60. Case, I know we're going to talk a little gambling. More times than not, you're considered the better handicapper than I am. True or false?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I will say we have a Super Bowl history ever since we've worked here together, which is many, many years. I feel like we're always on the opposite sides of the Super Bowl. And I do think I probably am up on you on the Super Bowl. Maybe a game or two. So you bounce some right, but
Totally agree. Now, can I tell you where I lead you?
yeah, let's hear it.
Super Bowls wagered on.
Yes, absolutely. You probably got me doubled up.
Honestly, doubled up. That's yes, I doubled up on about 49. You're 39, right?
38.
38. So I'm 11 years ahead of you. You might have
11's about double if you're saying
okay, all right, a double. Or see, we can't even agree on this. Fun game. Do you just want to get it out of the way? Do you want to rip the Band-Aid off?
whatever you want to do.
Tell us who you like in the game and why, and then I'll tell you why you may be right or
I will say I am not absolutely in love with this Super Bowl spread in total like I have been some others. And I'm not just saying this is not just hindsight. The good thing is everything's public. You can go to LasVegasSun.com and read what I thought about every single Super Bowl. I felt really good about Philadelphia last year, for example. That worked out well. This year I'm a little bit more back and forth. However, there's only one side I could bet. If you're coming here, you want to bet a side because it's the Super Bowl. I say you have to lay the 4.5 with Seattle. I'm still just not totally sold on New England. I feel like they've had a lot of things go their way this year. We were just talking off camera at another media thing we were doing. Third easiest schedule since 1978 by DVOA. And just look at who they even had to play in the playoffs. The Chargers team, who I don't even know how made the playoffs. They were so decimated with injuries. I was big against them every week at LasVegasSun.com. So no, they came through a lot. But this was not a playoff caliber team as they were currently constructed. Then you get Houston. You almost lose that game despite C.J. Stroud throwing was like 4 interceptions in the first half. Then Denver with Jarek Stidham in a snowstorm where you luckily got the lead when offense was still possible. So I haven't even really been impressed with this playoff run. I just still have questions about New England, and I do not have questions about Seattle. I'm sure this is the best team in the NFL or first or second best team in the NFL. So because of that, I think this should be a little bit over 5. Again, not huge value. It's a Super Bowl. I think this should be closer to 6. I would have to lay the 4.5 with Seattle.
okay, it's my job to be Debbie Downer.
No, I know you're being honest.
No. Do you worry that a lot of America, or a lot of the world, Super Bowl's a world thing, likes to bet the favorites in these big games? And do you worry that it seems like I haven't talked or heard one person say they like the Patriots? It seems everybody is on the Seahawks. And I don't know if you've been on the Strip lately, but there's a lot of big multi-million and billion-dollar buildings. They weren't built with winners. And I worry that everybody's going to bet the Seahawks, and then the coffers of the casinos are going to go up.
So we've had some reports of you said multi-million-dollar bets so far. Who have all those million-dollar bets been on so far?
I don't know.
Patriots.
Oh.
Patriots. I would. Number one, I'm a numbers guy. I trust my numbers, so I don't really get worried about.
I'm not a numbers guy. I'm more of a kid like that.
I don't get more through speaking Hugh, but I will say that there is a weird thing in your mind where it's just like if it is just a total pile on and everyone's on Seattle, you're like, if you're skit, everyone be right. But I really, I thought that it was going to be like that, and I haven't really felt that from being on talking to people. I've heard quite a few people say that New England's a trusty underdog to take. Not to spoil your pick, but including you, you're the most recent one I've said it. And those big bets have come in on New England. And interestingly to me, those big bets, if you look at, they're coming in on New England, and is the line moving? Not really. What does that tell you? It means that those big bets aren't coming from like the world's best sports bettors. They're coming from like whales that want a big bet on the Super Bowl and not exactly respected action. So it's fun to talk about, but to me, I don't really let it affect my process.
Okay, I like the Patriots +4. I was actually,
well, you probably get 5, so let's go at least 4.5.
4.5. Yeah, I like the Patriots plus the points. And I like them because I don't know the DVOA and all this other abbreviations that you have. But what I do know is that Mike Vrabel is a top 3 or 4 coach in my opinion. Right? And you Go ahead and say, oh, the guy from Seattle.
No, I think I got asked this on a different show of which coach would I take in the game, and it was a coin flip for me. I think they're both up in the upper echelon.
Okay.
I love Vrabel too.
Do I put more stock into Vrabel because he's been in a Super Bowl before and he knows how the week looks and feels?
Not as a coach, he hasn't been.
Yeah, but it's still he's seen it. He seems to be a smart guy. As my dad said, he's an Ohio State grad. Maybe I'm listening to John Brewer.
I think Mike McDonald's a Georgia grad. So
Well, that's why if you're a Georgia Bulldog, but I like the experience of Bravel. I think their defense. You brought up those 4 interceptions in the first half against the Texans. I don't love Drake May, second-year player, great on his feet, hasn't thrown the ball into trouble as much as you would have thought for a second-year player. And I'm in love with Ramondre Stevens, Centennial grad, right? Former Sun Player of the Year, having to win a Super Bowl. He's running the ball hard. And I see this being a low-scoring, nip-and-tuck game, and the Patriots have just won ugly all year. And that's what I'm going with. I want to take you down memory lane here, CK. The favorite bet that I've ever had in the Super Bowl, or my most successful one, or the one I want to boast about, is, do you remember when the Broncos played the Panthers?
yes, of course.
Okay.
That was a very good Super Bowl for me as well.
And the Panthers were like a 3 or 4 point favorite.
I think they might have been like 5.
Because that was the year Peyton Manning got benched, and then Brock Osweiler
Had a noodle arm. Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
good defense, but Miller, Super Bowl MVP. Good.
Correct. So I took the Broncos, but I did like a positive tease or whatever. I got them like as a 2 or 3 point favorite plus whatever, and I parlayed it maybe with the under for $15, and I won like $85 or $90.
Well,
My best hit.
I don't love that bet because you didn't even need to tease them. You have a bigger payout if you didn't tease them.
No, it wasn't a tease. It was
A sold point.
I still get one. Whatever. I don't know the
A pleaser.
Yes.
Yeah.
It pleaser.
I do. This is when we were on the same side. I do like a really big Super Bowl that year. That might have actually been my best ever Super Bowl until last year's. Last year's now easily takes the cake. Hopefully you were reading what we were writing in LasVegasSun.com and some stuff in the weekly. I mean, I was all over Jalen Hurts MVP. If you remember, Saquon Barkley was the favorite. Everyone was going over and Hurts first touchdown, Hurts MVP. I think I bet like 40 props and I won like over 30 of them. So last year takes the cake for me as far as best ever.
Do you worry that I see where your head's at, but if you don't love the game, do you have to bet it? It's just a game.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But I will say if you're doing this seriously and you're betting week in and week out, you don't have to bet the side and the total, but there are thousands of betting options just in Las Vegas on this. So if you're immersed in sports betting, this is something you're doing, I won't even say professionally, but recreationally. Plus, if you have been a profitable bettor, you're going to find some things that are value. So I feel like, I think with the way I approach it, there's never going to be a Super Bowl where I see, there's nothing. This one, I do really think there is very slight value on the Seahawks right now. I think the line should close higher. I think 4.5 is just too short, and that's still a bunch of sports books in town. Still have 4.5. And I was laughing when you were going through your thing about this game earlier because I was like, man, we can just not agree on anything. I disagreed with all your analysis on the Patriots too. I have no question about Drake May. If I'm betting the Patriots, the reason why I'd be telling you right now why I'm betting the Patriots is they have the best quarterback in the game. They have a guy who I think should be the MVP this year. He's not going to be. Matthew Stafford's going to win, but Drake May had a better season than him with less around him. The kid is incredible. I'd even think about betting Drake May MVPs at plus 250. I think you can get the Patriots in the money line plus 190. I don't think there should be that big of a discrepancy. I think if the Patriots win this game, it's Drake May. All that to say, you finally said something I agree with. You thought like a lower scoring, cagey game. I do agree with that. I like the under here. I think you can still get 46 in town. There's some 45.5. I think it should be, again, not huge value. So place this game like in the middle of the year, like week 10. I'm probably not betting the total, but it's the Super Bowl. If I think the total should be 45 and it's 46, I did put a little taste on the under.
I think people are like, gosh darn, they've been talking for 10 minutes now, and they haven't answered the question of all questions.
I gave you my winner on the total.
The heads or tails on the coin. That's what everybody wants to know. That's the best part of the Super Bowl is you could bet on, there's so many gadget bets and the prop sheet that it keeps you entertained throughout the course of the whole game. Now, I've had years where I've gone down, I bet all these props, and you walk out with all these tickets back in the day before you could do it on your phone. And then the game falls down, and guess what? You're not as smart as you thought. And you've got 2 or 3 tickets, and now you're like, great, I got to go drive back and hash out $28. See, it doesn't seem worth the trip.
Yeah, I've talked a lot. We've talked a lot about our positive Super Bowl memories. I just want to say, like, I lose on Super Bowls too. I'm not saying it's always great. I'd say the worst one ever was that Patriots Eagles. We were still in the paper ticket era. I think I probably had like 20 tickets, and I ended up cashing like 4 or 5 of them. And that's because that game was like 45-38. Everything went over. Everything was a yes. I like to bet a lot of no's.
You're
Bears.
Yeah, you're negative. I knew that about you.
No, that's just
Yeah, I say something that you disagree.
it's simple economics. I think there's all this money pouring into the market. We have the numbers every year about how much is bet in the state, and people are going to the sports books and betting because they don't want things to happen, or they want to root against the things happening in the game. So I think if you're way closer to kickoff, there's going to be a lot more value on those other sides.
And that's my theory now. Betting. I know this isn't a baseball prop show, but we like to talk about our baseball bets. And I'm like, all these years I've been betting, Ryan Braun over 180 hits, and he gets hurt and he misses a month and he gets 140 hits. And I'm like, I should bet the under on every one of these, because most people go on the disabled list, or the injured list, I think they call it now, for whatever.
Yeah, it's not something I don't bet. You bet a lot more of these over under season player props, but I do know. I think there's been some adjustment. The market's constantly getting sharper, but I do think there was some times years ago where if you did just that strategy, you were probably printing money for a while.
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what, when we came in here, I was like, hey, could you write your record down? So Case pitched successfully in the regular season, his column every week. Every game. He picked every game, breaking them into plays, leans, and guesses. He went 137, 108, and 10 during the regular season. One of the best in the nation, right? According to the internet.
Yeah.
All right. Your record now, after the playoffs, it's gotten down 149, 124, and 10. Not bad, right?
Yeah, the playoffs haven't been great. I think some of the plays I've lost on the playoffs. So that could be good news for you. I haven't had a good hold on the playoffs, and you're way off the sides here.
I just want to, the best part for the Super Bowl for me isn't necessarily the prop bets and sitting there, if I don't know, some random player like the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl for a few years, like Juju Smith-Schuster catches the ball. I'm like, okay, he's got to get 8 yards. I need over 8 yards, and he only plays like once every 10 snaps, and sitting there and you're waiting for it. The best part for me is I like the food, and sitting in, I'm not like, oh, Bad Bunny, I can't wait to watch Bad Bunny, but I like because football for me is I watch the game generally by myself, right? During the regular season. Super Bowl Sunday, my family comes, right? We make maybe hamburger sliders or some chicken wings or some nachos, and it's fun to get everybody involved.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, so I'm not going to ask what's on the menu.
I don't know what's on the menu tonight, let alone Sunday night.
You love that.
We'll figure it out, though.
I absolutely love that. Give us some, we've talked about, you like the Seahawks, I like the Patriots. We both like the under, so the game will be over in the first quarter, probably. What about some prop bets? Give us 2 or 3 prop bets where something that you're going to bet that maybe you're going to be one of your columns later on in the leaf.
Okay, well, I guess since we already talked about how people like betting on things to happen, I'm going to totally contradict myself since I said I like betting unders and nos. Although I will say I'm going to be targeting a lot of unders on the Patriots because I don't love them there. However, I've been on this big kick where when I dive into the Patriots, I just think their touchdown equity is a lot more concentrated than other teams. There's basically 2 guys that I'm confident they will go to in the red zone. Hunter Henry, who has I think 11 more targets than anyone else in the red zone. I like him to score. And also, I got to give some love to your guy, our guy, actually, former Sun Standout Player of the Year. I have bet Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown at plus 155. Now, I will say these touchdown markets are a disaster. High hold. Brewer talked me up on the sides. I will say I've lost money this year on the touchdown bettors. I had a good couple years and thought I had an edge there. This year, I have not. I've done terrible on them. So there's a disclaimer. But if you want to back the hometown guy, I'm not I'm not targeting Ramondre as like over rushing thing. I think Seattle's rushing defense is very good, but I do think in the red zone, New England to me, Ramondre and Hunter Henry, and then to a little bit lesser extent Drake May. I just think those three guys are so much more likely to score than anyone else on their team.
So if this game does in fact come out to be a run heavy, drag them in the mud, even though it won't be muddy, under the no on all these prop bets, then all of a sudden if this total was like 52, like most Super Bowls, and we expected a shootout, then a lot of the yeses on the totals would be on the prop bets would now be in play. Do you like some of these unders and nos because you think the game is going to stay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why I had to go out on a limb and say some of the guys that I do like to do things. But again, I think on Stevenson, like rushing yards, the only way I'd look is under. I think Travion Henderson's another guy that he's kind of splitting carries with it. I think I'm going to target under. It seems like they trust Stevenson way more. Henderson's workload has been up and down all year, but I kind of think in the Super Bowl and you're in the biggest spot, you're going to go with the guys you trust the most. And I just don't know if they love Henderson, so I kind of like some Henderson unders. Other side rushing, what do we know about Mike Vrabel defenses? I don't even necessarily disagree. I don't even necessarily agree with his philosophy on this, but you can't argue with how it's gone. He's always been a guy to stop the run first. He wants to pass fully. He wants to force teams to throw the ball. Kenneth Walker is the toast of the town. He's been great. He has full workload now without Zach Charbonnet, but I think his numbers are a little bit high. I think the Patriots are going to be all over the run game, so I'd be looking for some Kenneth Walker unders on the other side.
Okay, so I was going to give you one of my prop bets.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so who's the best player? You know me. I got a few theories, right?
Yeah.
Who's in your opinion, the best player in the Super Bowl?
Drake May.
Forget about the quarterbacks. Non-Cole
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He is.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Okay, this is you're. It's like we preach this. Okay.
Is that not the answer you're
No. It's the answer. What do you think? Does he go over yards?
This is interesting. This is maybe my favorite bet I've made so far.
Josh, if we're on the other side of this,
His yardage over is 94.5. I think his touchdowns like about pick 'em. I think if he goes over 94.5 and scores a touchdown, he's just winning the MVP. We hear what the media says about Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's still underrated, but these are the guys voting on us, and I can't believe Sam Darnold's in the Super Bowl. How is he doing this? If Jackson Smith and Jigba has the type of games he's had all year, I think he's going to steal MVP votes. I bet Jackson Smith and Jigba 6-1 to win MVP. I didn't bet any of those overs. I just rather go for the high upside option and the bigger payout.
Okay, so I actually was going to bet him under.
Okay.
To go figure, right? Because he's going to likely be guarded by Christian Rodriguez.
The Patriots aren't really and most teams aren't now. They aren't a shadow team. And also Christian Gonzalez
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's also not, I mean, he's very, very good. He's who I wanted the Raiders to draft back when they had the sixth pick or whatever in 2022 or whatever that was. But he's not going to shadow anyone. And also he got beat in the Broncos game. He gets beat all the time. I'll take Smith and Jigba over him any day. Again, I'm not betting the overs. They're a little high, but I do like, I mean, Smith and Jigba's who they've gone to when they've needed it. They're going to need it in the Super Bowl. I do like the high upside play MVP. And I would be shocked if Gonzalez is shadowing him across the field. Gonzalez will stay to his side. He'll match up with Smith and Jigba sometimes. He's going to be Raheed Shaheed other times. Maybe some Cooper Kupp in the slot. I don't look at that one-on-one matchup much.
The worst Super Bowl you've ever watched was gaming just like I got to turn off at halftime. It's a
well, I already mentioned that Eagles Patriots one where everything happened. That was just a disaster for me. I didn't want all that to happen, so that has to be up there.
What about the game when it was like 42-8 or 9? The Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks Broncos. Well, this is when we disagreed the most. We had a radio show back then, and I loved the Seahawks in that game, and you loved the Broncos, so I took some joy in. Although I will say, I think it was on Las Vegas Sun too. We had a props competition, and my biggest prop that I put down, again, I love the nose on the unders. I bet no safety in that game, and there was a safety to start on the first play. So that's the most memorable one of that one.
Yeah, there's basically two bets that have been there forever. Will there be overtime? Which we had an overtime here.
We've had two now. That was the second, I believe.
Okay, but the game we went to together was the second bowl. There was an overtime.
Yeah.
Will there be a 2-point conversion? And will there be a safety? That's actually 3, I said 2.
Yeah. And back in the days, like I think it was 2012, maybe 2013 or 14, that Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl. The numbers were so bad. It was just clear. Like I remember you telling me I was crazy for betting the no safety, but it was like no minus 600. If you just have any idea of percentages of how often these things happen, it was just great value. Now with legalized sports betting nationwide and so much more money in the market, I do think it's gotten a little bit more prohibitive. These numbers are a little bit better, but if only we know now what we do, then it'd be nice to go back.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to go back to all the Super Bowls that I've ever, failed on miserably and done it. But Case likes the Seahawks. I like the Patriots. We both like the under. Case says, go ahead, put MVP on Jackson Smith, the Jigma. Go yes on Hunter Henry, touchdown. Yes on Ramondre Stevenson, touchdown. Could he do you remember the Steven Jackson touchdown celebration? Steven Jackson, Alvarado graduate.
I don't remember it, to be
He
honest.
did the crafts. He rolled up.
Oh, right, yeah, I do remember that.
Could Ramondre pull that out?
He should. No,
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Yeah. It's so cool that a kid we covered in high school is playing in the Super Bowl. It's also cool to talk with you about how your mind works and everything.
And how about a shout out to just cover the Raiders a lot. There's like 5 Raiders guys on this Patriots defense who you were just talking up. You're the biggest hater of the Raiders. We just got done talking about how they can't play defense for years. Yet this defense you're back and saying so good is powered by a bunch of Raiders guys.
Exactly. Once they got out of Vegas, they became great defenders when they had real coaching. Right?
Ouch.
Okay. I don't. Talk Raiders, talk later. Get that with that Fernando Mendoza song. Do you like that?
This is a thing for next year.
Okay. Well, will you sing that if they draft him?
No, I'm out. I'm out.
Karaoke? We'll see. All right. Well, if the Seahawks win and cover, Case will be 150, 124, and 10. If they lose, he'll be 149, 125, and 10. Still darn good. Great season. Love to see how your brain works. I now am going to see it. I will tell you, though, which one of us hit an 8-teamer on Friday night?
That was yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody, for following our coverage all season.